Thank you for being here and for spending your day with us today. Thank you to the speakers for their fantastic talks. They were incredible, and I was so happy to be there. And I know that I speak for my colleagues as well. And thank you to all the audience for your questions, for your participation, for making this really a vibrant day. You know, when I'm a mathematician, I said this morning when we started the event, and I teach math. And one of the things I always try to tell our students is the history of math is really the history of the struggle of the human spirit. We struggle with very difficult problems. We try to find solutions, and we have to be creative. And sometimes the solutions are encountered with hostility and skepticism. And this is true at every level. You know, it took about, 2,400 years, probably, 2,200 years to figure out that there were no Euclidean geometries. And the first people who came up with that idea were not really welcome necessarily. Even when Newton came up with calculus, which is, a pretty good idea, obviously, people kept saying, well, I could solve this problem without calculus. So he would come up with a different problem. Well, I could have solved that problem without calculus. And so it takes a while. And what I thought I saw today that really I enjoy so much was that you gave us, especially for people like me, I'm not an expert in computing in any sense, he gave us a picture of these last 50 years and the kind of struggle that the community went through in building from nothing to what we have now. And what we have now, I think Steve Wozniak was right in saying that it's not the perfect world, but what we can do is amazing. And it was really fantastic to see that. I'm really happy that we were able to videotape your talks, because the only regret I have is that we didn't have all of our 5,500 undergraduate students there today. Because I think that you spoke, you said something that our students don't know. And I think Ted provided our small number of kids in the honor program with that feedback. You told them that this is not about technology. That's what I heard from so many talks. This is not about technology. This is about envisioning a different world. And this is the struggle to see how you build a technology that can make a different world, a world that is better for everybody. And it's a story of the pitfalls, of how you try to make a better world, and sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And that's why I saw that the humanity of what you brought today is really fantastic. And so for this, I'm really grateful. I hope that you will remain friends to Chapman University. I hope you'll come back again. I hope we'll have other occasions to celebrate TED and other achievement that we have. So this is not the end of the evening, but it's really the beginning, I hope, of a long friendship. Let me now open kind of more formally the formal part of the event, because I want to get rid of this and eventually get back to drinking a glass with you. I want to welcome the family of Ted who is here. Marlene Mallicott, his wife, and everybody has spent wonderful words, and it's been wonderful meeting you many years ago, and it's great to have you again here. His son, Eric. And Eric's mom, Debbie Stone. Thank you very much for being here. I don't know if Debbie showed her regalia. I think you should show the regalia to everybody. Yeah, this yeah, the Ted Nelson tour. As you walk in at the beginning, at the entrance of the room, you saw some of the official proclamations that are for TED to take home, and there are recognition from our public officials of the value of what TED has done and what we are doing by honoring him with the honorary degree. There is a proclamation from the mayor of our city, of the city of Orange, Mayor Tita Smith, and the entire Orange City Council. There is a certificate of recognition from Assemblyman Don Wagner of the 68th District. There is a resolution from Orange County Supervisor Todd Spitzer of the 3rd District. And actually, interestingly enough, that when they were preparing this, the office staff said, and I quote, "This is one of the most interesting resolutions we have ever prepared, and we really enjoyed researching TED." And finally, a resolution from the Senate of the State of California, from State Senator Mimi Walters of the 37th District. So, the formal event, the way the honorary degree is given, is that we have a citation that explains why the university has decided to award TED with an honorary doctorate. This is a process that is not a trivial process. He has to go through the faculty. First of all, there has to be a nomination. Somebody has to suggest that he be given the degree. Then the faculty senate has to vote. And then the entire board of trustees vote. So Doug, which I will introduce in a second, will read the citation. And we will then give Ted the attributes of the doctor, which is the diploma as well as the hood. And then I will read the official wording by which we officially confer upon him the title of doctor in sciences. Let me say a couple of words about Doug Dechow. I mentioned to you all this morning how important his role has been, but he's been, as I like to say, my partner in crime, the major force in organizing this and pulling together all the stuff. But he's a very interesting character on his own. He's an eclectic intellectual. And that's why when I originally thought that we should bring Ted here to teach our honors, he was one of the first people who said, oh my God, he's a legend. We gotta do this, we gotta do this. And so he and I, we knew each other, of course, for a while, but we forged a friendship over this common project. He has a PhD in computer science, first of all, and has worked as a research computer sciences at the Fermi Labs, as well as NASA, Lucent Technologies, and 3 Sigma Robotics. And his work was really mostly in the area of computational accelerator physics. So if you don't have enough money to actually smash particles, I guess they do the calculation to simulate what really happens. I'm sure it is a little watered-down version. But then he also received a master in library information sciences, and we have been really lucky. He joined us in 2008 and has been working in our library, the Leatherby Library, since 2008. I said he's eclectic. He's the curator of the Challenger Disaster Memorial Archive. He's authored a book about the Smalltalk programming language. The title is Squeak, A Quick Trip to Objectland. He's published, I mentioned before, in computational accelerator physics. That was his doctoral area, but also aspect-oriented programming languages, game studies, German studies, and museum studies. He's one of those well-rounded intellectuals, which I think is one of the reasons why he so much enjoys and reveres the work of Ted. He's currently co-authoring a book with his wife, Anna Leahy, who is here somewhere. Where is Anna? Anna is there. She's a professor of creative writing. She's our poet here at Chapman. And they're writing a book about the end of the space shuttle program. And more important than anything else to me, Doug has been a tremendous support to me over the last year as we put all of this together. He co-taught the class with Ted, and I'm really extremely grateful and proud to call him a friend. And so now I'll let him give the official citation for our degree.
Ted, would you come up so I can then read the citation? Ted, Chapman University is honored to recognize your many contributions to computing and the generation of knowledge in our world. Your approach to the big questions is a reflection of our most esteemed hope for our students and the embodiment of the mission of Chapman University to teach our graduates how to lead inquiring, ethical, and productive lives as global citizens. By focusing on the important questions of how people will work with and use information, we honor your curiosity and ingenuity as a media innovator and a systems designer. From your early work that led to the creation of hypertext and to the Docuverse, a worldwide network of hypertext documents that you envisioned first, you laid the ground for the information ecosystem that has shaped the 21st century. We honor your perseverance and tenacity in working for nearly 50 years on the Xanadu system, your vision of the Docuverse. You have also authored a number of influential books aimed at the wider public, including ComputerLib, which was published 40 years ago in 1974. Like much of your work, ComputerLib anticipated a world that did not yet exist, but that would come to fruition. ComputerLib predicted the coming personal computer revolution and galvanized the minds and ambitions of a generation of computer scientists, engineers, and entrepreneurs. You've received the recognition and influence of your work in the area of hypertext by having the Association for Computing Machinery's SIG-Web name in your honor the Ted Nelson Newcomer Award, an award given to the best paper written by authors who have never published in the earlier hypertext proceedings. For your significant contributions to the arts and literature, France's Minister of Culture appointed you an officer in the Order of Arts and Letters in 2001. You have also been named as the inaugural recipient of the Association for Computing Machinery SIG-Chi Special Recognition Award for the work in the area of human-computer interaction. Therefore, it is with extreme honor, admiration, and pride that Chapman University bestows upon you the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
Oh, boy. Oh, look at that.
Diploma.
Wow.
And we want to. Oh,
Yep, yep. It's kind of foggy, but
well, there is the cover page.
yeah, that's the cover. We'll leave it on.
Yeah, like this. Yeah.
Boys in the Hood.
Behave, Dr. Nelson.
I am being haved.
By the authority vested upon me by the Board of Trustees of Chapman University, I hereby confer upon you, Theodore Holm Nelson, the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa, with all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Congratulations. And now, if you want to say a few words, the floor is yours.
This part isn't scripted. I just want to say that Chapman is an exciting and inspiring place, and these are exciting and inspiring people, and I'm very delighted to receive this degree.